Next method in Python maths library is to check whether a number is a valid number, or if it is not a number, that is if it's a NaN value, then this particular method will return true. So to check this, we can write a string NaN, and then we can use float method to convert this string to not a number value, and then we can apply is NaN here. So is NaN, and inside is NaN we are giving a mathematical value which will be equivalent to not a number. So you will see true output here, because yes, the value that is entered inside this is nan as a parameter, this value is not a number. So next in the math library we have LDEXP function. This LDEXP function is basically the inverse function of FREXP, which was used to calculate mantissa and exponent of any given value. So in this case, if we know the mantissa and exponent of any value, then we can calculate its that number basically. So here in the example FREXP, we did math.frexp3. so now the value that we got for FREXP3 were 0.75 and 2. So I'm going to write 0.75 here and 2 here. So now you will get 3. So if you will use FREXP, then you will get the mantissa and exponent. If you know the mantissa and exponent, you can write them as parameters in this LDEXP method, and then you will get that particular number. So this is the work of LDEXP method. Next in Python math modules we have mod x function, mod f of x. So x is any parameter here. This parameter should be a float value. This mod f returns the fractional and integral part of x. Fractional and integer part of x. Both results carry the sign of x. So you get the integer part as well as the fractional part, and they are separated. So we can take an example here. We have to print math.modf 100.12. So we have to print the mod f of 100.12. So we have to break this number into fraction and integer. So you will get math.modf 100.12 is 0.12 and some values there, and then 100. So we have actually did that. Let's take another example. Let's write 34.25. So we have a fractional part here and an integer part here, and you will get a, so this output is actually a tuple, and in this tuple there are two values. First value is the fractional part or the float part, and second is the integer part, but again both the answers are in float. So this is the work of mod f. Next, after mod f we have trunc x. So it returns the real value x truncated to the integral, usually an integer, and delegates to x trunc. So let me explain this. So it basically gives you the float value. So it basically gives you the integer value from float value. So if you trunc x, so we can do one example here, and let me write this. So we have to print math.trunc 456.6788. You can see the integer part is 456, the fractional part is 0.6788. So when you will print it, the fractional part will be removed. Now ceil, floor and mod f functions, you should note that all floating point numbers of sufficiently large magnitude are exact integers. So the work of this particular function again is to give us integer part from a given value which has some fractional value as well. Next we have some power and logarithmic functions, and the first logarithmic function is math.expx. It basically returns e raised to the power of x. It gives you a value of e raised to the power of x. So let's say maths.exp5. So it is basically e raised to the power of 5. You can do this math.e, and you will get the same value. There are some difference here in the decimal points, but the value is approximately same. So it is basically math.e raised to the power of 5. That is the work of this function here. And then we have expm1 function. It returns e raised to the power of x minus 1 for a small float x. The subtraction in exp x minus 1 can result in significant loss of precision. So we can do the same example here and return math.exp m1 5. So you can see it is returning same value but minus 1 here. So it is exp m1. Next we have math.log x, and you can see in the description there is one square bracket here, and this square bracket is optional. So whenever you have in description or in suggestion you have a square bracket, that means it's an optional parameter, and with one argument in math.log it will return the natural logarithmic. That means the base of log will be e, but if you will provide some base, then with two arguments it will return the logarithmic of x to the given base. So it will return the log of x to the given base calculated as log x by log base. So what we can do here is math.log. Suppose we have to calculate the log of 2. First we will write math.log 2, and we will get the value of math.log 2 or log 2 where the base is e. Now math.log 2 comma 10. So we are giving 10 as a second parameter here, and that means we want to get log 2 base 10. So now you will get the value 3010. So this is how this particular function or this particular method works, math.log x base. Then we have another method called math.log 1p. Returns the natural log of 1 plus x base e. The result is calculated in a way which is accurate to x near 0. So we can copy this and we can try this. So math.log 1p, let's say 2, and now you will get, so you can see 1 plus x base e. Now we have math.log 2x. It returns the base 2 log of x, and this is usually more accurate than log x comma 2. So if you have to calculate log of any particular number with base 2, so you can use the earlier method also, which was this method. You can use this method also, but you can see some methods are more accurate over, some methods do the same thing, but they are more accurate over other methods. So they have created a particular method for log 2, log base 2. So math.log 2, we can calculate math